Whoa, would you look at this? It's the fabled top 10 Gen 2 Pokemon video I never finished. So when I quit the Sir Colco channel on March 31st, 2017, I was working on an April Fool's video about Smash Bros. Characters. However, by that point I had also been working on the video that would be releasing after that, which was the top 10 Gen 2 Pokemon video. I decided to quit YouTube because I was stressing myself out over the deadline I had set for myself, since I obviously wanted the April Fool's video to release on April 1st. Obviously, since I never finished the April Fool's video, I never finished the video after that. This video was going to be a long time coming because I always planned on making best and worst lists for every single Pokemon generation, but I kept working on other videos instead, so the gap between the Pokemon series kept getting wider. That's something I acknowledge in the original video script, and I'll talk more in detail about that later. Now, the script and dialogue you're going to hear is the actual original script that would have been used for the video. But, of course, I never recorded my voiceover at the time, so this is all recordings that I did in the present day, in order to, make this a proper archive so you can get a good idea of what the video would have been like. The visuals for this are also going to be a bit weird. I did have a decent amount of art done for the video at the time, actually totaling over 50 drawings, but like I mentioned before, I was only occasionally working on this video as a side project because I was mainly focusing on the April Fool's video. Because of that, the drawings only went up to the number 6 section. I wanted to include visuals for the rest of the script in order to give an idea of what the rest of the video would have looked like, so I drew a bunch of new art to represent what would have been shown in that section. It'll be easy to tell which drawings are from 2017 and which are from present me, because the original 2017 drawings will have the usual Sir Colco orange background, and the new drawings I made for this scrap presentation will be on a black background with no color. But yeah, here's the scrapped video with the same script and some original drawings, and new voiceover and drawings to give you an idea of what it could have looked like. Here we go. So I don't know if you've noticed, but Gen 2 has recently been added to Pokemon Go. Makes me feel sorry for the person who was the first to catch all the Pokemon in the game. I saw the update and I thought, hey, I should continue my best and worst Pokemon series. Because it hasn't been that long since the last one. So let's waste no more time and dive right in. Hey yo people, my name is Sir Colco and welcome to my top 10 best Pokemon from Generation 2, Pokemon Gold and Silver. Sorry for the wait. Before we begin, I have one pretty notable honorable mention. Scizor. Come on guys, you can't deny Scizor's coolness. Scizor is definitely a cool steel type, giving the usually weak bug typing some extra defense. And overall, its design and color scheme is just overall awesome. It's not enough to get on the list, but it's still a great Pokemon. Just keep it away from that 4x fire weakness. It's time for Cooking with Scizor. Hi kids, today we're going to fix fried kiwi. Whoops, I put my claw too close to the flame. Ah!
Number 10.
Igglybuff. Okay, yeah, if you saw my video on my favorites from Gen 1, which is very cringy by the way, you now know that I'm a sucker for the Jigglypuff line, but honestly, I can't help it. Just look at it, it's... Aww. Gen 2 introduced several baby pre-evolutions to previous Pokemon, but none of them compared to Igglybuff's adorableness. Okay, if you haven't noticed, the cuteness is my only reason for liking it. Yeah, let's move on. Wait, I just realized. Igglybuff. Oh no.
Number 9.
Smeargle. For Smeargle, it's not its design that makes me like it, it's the way it battles. Throughout all the time Smeargle levels up, it can only learn one move, Sketch, its signature move. The cool thing about Sketch, it allows Smeargle to permanently learn the previous move your opponent used. Now that is awesome. Just imagine it. Go, Smeargle! Let's do it, Garchomp! Smeargle! Garchomp! Heh, there's no way that puny thing can beat my dragon. Smeargle? Use Draco Meteor. Smear! Yeah, Smeargle is amazing.
Number 8.
Dunsparce. While most of the Pokemon on this list are based on design, Dunsparce is here due to a personal experience. When I was in the 4th grade, my friends and I loved a game called Pokemon Mystery Dungeons: Gates to Infinity. Dunsparce was a main character, being a nervous and shy character. This made me really attached to the Pokemon, and I've loved it ever since. Although it is a little further down because it almost made me lose my Nuzlocke once. It's also got a great design that for whatever reason makes it really neat to me. Seriously though, why doesn't Dunsparce evolve? Game Freak, please fix this. Dunsparce needs more love.
Number 7.
Mary had a little Mareep that electrocuted her. Mareep, what is there to say about it? I want one. It's cute, I want one so badly. Plus, I just feel like an electric sheep is just so adorable. This cute little guy could shock you to death, isn't that adorable? I also used Mareep briefly in my playthrough of Pokemon Heart Gold. While I did start over to do a Nuzlocke, the Mareep currently resides in Pokemon Moon. I just love Mareep. Just look at all that wool. It looks so flaffy. Get it? Because Flaffy is its evolution? Boo! Get off the stage!
Number 6.
When it comes to evolutions, there's one everyone considers the coolest. Sylveon. Okay, not really. Umbreon is, out of all the evolutions, definitely the most cool looking. It's not my favorite evolution, but that's a video for another time. Umbreon's dark coloring just makes it very eerie, but cool. One other reason I like it is because one of the first Pokemon cards I'd ever gotten was an Umbreon, which had a move that only did 60 damage, but it also had Confuse Ray. Which reminds me, Umbreon is extremely annoying to fight. Once I was at the battle tree and Umbreon confused my Pokemon. This made it hard to hit, and even when I did hit it, its defense is so high that it did little damage. And then it would heal itself with Moonlight! No! No more! Yeah! Sure, Umbreon is annoying to fight, but it's a really cool Pokemon, which is why it's on this list.
Number 5.
Gligar. Gligar is a cool Pokemon to me, for several different reasons. First is the design. I just really love the idea of this bat, flying squirrel, scorpion hybrid. Another reason is its typing. Flying and ground of all things. I just love seeing opposites come together, like how Volcanion is a fire and water type. Now Gligar can use tricky flying moves and devastate opponents with a stab earthquake. Gligar is just cool overall to me, and that's why it's here at number 5.
Number 4.
Donphan. That's right, another stab earthquaker. I'm sorry if you have nightmares tonight. I don't know what it's been, but ever since I saw it, Donphan has been a favorite of mine. I think the main reason is its cool design, and the fact that it's a ground type. I don't know why, but I've always loved ground types. No, it's not because stab earthquakes. I'm not that evil. I don't exactly know why, I just think it's a really well designed Pokemon, enough to put it this high on the list.
Number 3.
Now, I'm just going to say this now. You don't want this Pokemon crossed with you.
Why do you torture us, Colco?
I honestly can't really think of anyone who doesn't like Heracross. It's that cool. It is a weakish bug type, but it makes up for it with an additional fighting type. Man, could you imagine that?
A fly, I'd better swat it.
Puny mortal.
Yeah, the fighting type is one of my favorite types, so seeing a fighting bug type of all things is great. Oh, and who can forget its Super Boss Mega Evolution? Heracross is a super awesome Pokemon. I'm not surprised so many people like it. Also, I saw a picture of Heracross flying, although it has a 4 times weakness to flying types. You know, because that makes sense.
Number 2.
Entei. No, I'm not even going to try drawing this one. Don't you remember the Sandslash incident? Entei, in my opinion, has the best design out of the legendary dogs. It's very cool looking. And when you choose between the typings of ice, electric, and fire, I'm almost always going to choose fire. Wait a minute. 3 legendaries, ice, electric, and fire. What? They're just the same as the legendary birds! But how? How can this be? Wait a minute. 3 dogs, 3 birds, 3 sides on a triangle. Oh no. No! No! One last reason I like Entei comes from when I used to collect Pokémon cards. One day I got a pack of cards and I got a full art Entei. I used to use it a lot against my brother, and I think that's overall what made me like Entei a lot.
Number 1!
This one is definitely a different choice. Number 1 is Aipom. My love for Aipom has grown for multiple years for various different reasons. First is its design, and, well, it's great. I love its coloring, and for some reason the idea of a monkey with a fist on its tail has always been intriguing to me. It's also really cute, and that grin makes it look like a really mischievous Pokemon. Which brings me to the other main reason, the Diamond and Pearl anime. Ash's Aipom, or Dawn's Aipom I guess, was really fun to watch, seeing it be so happy all the time and stealing Ash's hat. And for some reason I really like seeing Aipom use Swift. I don't know why. Okay, don't judge me, I was in the 2nd grade. Back then I drew comics about Superman fighting G.I. Joe. I was a weird kid. Still am, too. Aipom is adorable, mischievous, and just a great Pokemon overall. That's why Aipom is my favorite Gen 2 Pokemon of all time. This is the part where the end card plays for like, however many seconds I usually did it. This is just talking as a placeholder. How long do I have to do this? I don't really know. Hey, how do you get a Pikachu on the bus? You Pokemon!
Colco, those 3 puns were awful. What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, do you think a 4th one would be unexpected?
Nah!
So as I mentioned before, this video was meant to be the next video in an ongoing series on the channel where I would do top 10s of the best and worst Pokemon of every single generation. This was an idea directly taken from Pokemon YouTubers I was watching a lot during that time, specifically Jethrotex and Arizo. It's a really fun video format to see other people's opinions on what Pokemon they liked and hated, and it's fun to see different people talk about it since the idea of the best and worst Pokemon is so subjective. Full production of this video didn't start until March 2017, but I originally intended to start on it way earlier than that, as early as December 2016. The first time I mentioned the video was in a planned upload schedule post on the Sir Colco Patreon page, which nobody saw because why would someone pay money monthly for these videos? The first upload schedule plan listed the top 10 Gen 2 Pokemon video as releasing December 28th, 2016, and basically all I say is that I'm doing it to continue my plan to cover every single generation. This was obviously before I planned the end of the year video extravaganza, which was 3 videos released weekly at the end of 2016. That idea would take me about a month to prepare for ahead of time, so everything planned from late November onwards was moved around. The second upload schedule plan actually moved the release date up to November 20th. This revised schedule didn't go past December 3rd, so I believe by this time I was planning the video extravaganza, but just hadn't announced it yet. 2 weeks later, I posted the third planned upload schedule that pushed the Gen 2 Pokemon video to December 3rd. This schedule actually includes the first video of the extravaganza, so clearly at the time I didn't realize how much time it would take to have 3 videos made ahead of time. The last schedule I posted to Patreon on November 6, 2016 doesn't have the Gen 2 Pokemon video on it, meaning I had unofficially pushed it back to January 2017. After this post, I abandoned the Patreon because nobody was donating to it. Gee, I wonder why. Around the end of the year, I wrote out this plan for my upload schedule from January to May 2017. What's strange about it is that the Gen 2 Pokemon video was pushed all the way back to the end of February. That's strange to me because like I mentioned before, I wanted to make these generation ranking videos regularly. I had 6 more generations to cover, which meant it would take 14 more videos to cover the best and worst of each of them. So I think it only makes sense that I wanted to get them out frequently so that it didn't take 5 years to get through all of them. It appears like the main reason was because I was planning on making several videos regarding the upcoming Nintendo Switch. 2 of these are simply labeled as pre-release Switch videos, and the third was a Colco review of Nintendo Land to celebrate the end of the Wii U era. Obviously, these were topical videos that could only truly be relevant before the Switch's release in March, so that meant prioritizing those videos over most other things. The Gen 2 Pokemon video was pushed back so that after the Switch videos were done, I could solely focus on setting a schedule for those Pokemon generation videos. And then in January 2017, I briefly quit YouTube due to burnout. I returned to the channel by finishing up the Mega Man review I'd been working on before I quit. And that was uploaded literally the day before the Switch released. So naturally, those pre-release videos were cancelled. With those videos off the table, I decided to move up the Gen 2 Pokemon video to the second next video I was doing. Under normal circumstances, it would have been the very next video, but before that, I wanted to make a collaboration video with my friend IC, aka IC22487 Gaming. After all, the whole reason I returned to YouTube was because we became friends, and that inspired me to make new videos. This collab video was what would become the Top 5 Pseudo Legendaries video, which is what I worked on for about half of March. I finished my parts of the collab relatively quickly, but IC was taking longer to complete his parts. Since I had spare time, I worked on future videos in the meantime, which is why I have drawings finished for both the Top 10 Gen 2 Pokemon video and the Pokemon Sun and Moon review. Once we finally released the collab video, instead of switching my focus over to the Gen 2 Pokemon video, I decided to spend about a week and a half to make an April Fool's video about characters I want in Smash Bros. This meant that the Gen 2 Pokemon video was put on the sidelines yet again. But little did I know that it would end up being permanently. This video was only scrapped because it was a victim of circumstance. It was going to be the video released after the April Fool's video, but that video ended up being the breaking point that made me end Sir Colco for good. This was pretty much because of the stupidly tight deadline I set for myself. A joke video like that only works well when it's uploaded specifically on April 1st, so I only had a week and a half to work on that video. The stress I was putting on myself made me decide I wanted to stop. If it wasn't for that, I don't think there's any other reason this video would have been scrapped. It's a pretty standard Sir Colco video, so I don't see it being scrapped in any other way. And plus, I was committed to making videos on every single Pokemon generation, so I had the motivation to get it done. I don't know what else to say here, it's pretty cut and dry. Leave.